15-play drive for the 49ers, but they settle for a field goal.
And that's an area. This New England defense, they really control the entire game plan for both sides of the ball. Red zone stops, turnovers. They got to keep this into a low-scoring game. It allows New England's offense to stay run-heavy, limited passing, limited drop-back game. All of a sudden, we see what happened. They fell behind last week against the Jets. Turns into a drop-back game. That's just not right now where they're overly comfortable. So this defense holds the key, and after what looked like a tough start there with a couple third-down conversions, they got the hold they needed, and they'll take giving this San Francisco offense field goals all day.
To Michael Hasty, back with Antonio Gibson. And Jacoby Brissett in the Patriots offense had some movement on that first drive, took it into 49ers territory before punting. And ready to get it again. An already depleted offensive line, though, is even a little bit more banged up now. We go down to Pam Oliver.
Yeah, Joe, the Patriots O-line taking another hit to the lineup. The man in the middle of the line is the injured party for the Patriots. Center David Andrews has a shoulder injury. His return questionable.
And so Nick Leverett, who's played just 2 snaps this year, comes in, and the Andrews was like the little bit of glue they had holding this whole thing together.
Amongst all the rookies last week against the Jets, they start 3 rookies. Just 1 today, but yeah, he was the man in the middle. He made all the calls. He took a lot off Jacoby Brissett's plate with both run and pass. That's a huge loss at a spot they really couldn't afford to lose.
So Bosa's on the sideline to start this drive. 1st and 10 for the Patriots. It's Ramondre Stevenson. Lost the ball for a 4th consecutive game. Stevenson fumbles. 49ers have it. Oh, my goodness. He fumbled 1 time all of last season. That's 4 in 4 games this year. Fumble is forced by Robert Beal.
All this talk about ball security, I can tell you firsthand, Joe, it becomes mental. You know, the harder you think about it, the more you stress it in practice. The coaches have you doing all these extra ball security drills. It almost gets worse.
And it was actually Sam Okuwanu who forced that fumble. One of the guys getting an opportunity today because of all the injuries they have up front.
Yeah, Okuwanu, he beats City So. They're running a counter. He's supposed to kick him out. He plays around it fast, and you can see Stevenson, he's obviously sick and heartbroken, and just one of those things when it starts to spiral, it just gets hard to pull yourself out of the funk. It's like a basketball shooter can't make a free throw. You practice too many free throws at practice, and all of a sudden you get worse. It's kind of the same idea. Ball security can't be something you think too much about.
Mason, big hole. Jordan Mason, big gain of 16. Our first game break. Hello, Carissa Thompson.
Hello, Joe. So the Commanders down 7 on the road in Arizona. Brian Robinson takes it right up the middle for a 6-yard score. We're tied at 7. Joe?
All right, Carissa, and man, the Patriots, all they have going on offense is Ramondre Stevenson, but if he can't hang on to the ball, they don't have anything. They were controlling the ball, controlling the clock is their only hope. From the 14, back to Mason. Good surge over the left side of that line behind Trent Williams. Go back to the first play of this drive. George Kittle paving the way.
Yeah, when we talked about how much Kittle, him being out last week, changed everything. When you have a tight end that can just operate at the end of the line of scrimmage and just control big 290-pound defensive ends, I can't tell you how rare that is in the league. And then he can go scramble drill and make 3rd down catches. You can use him in the play action game, use him in motion as a lead blocker. There's just not a lot of guys like Kittle around the league, and he's the ultimate weapon for this run game that Kyle Shanahan, of course, he loves.
Juszczyk, the lead blocker here. Mason, tough sledding, 3rd and short. Yeah, Kyle Shanahan was saying last week, you know, he's out with a hamstring injury, and you think about, oh, you're missing your weapon down the field. But he said, I like him as much in a grimy and messy game inside. And there aren't too many guys like that.
Well, I'll tell you, just knowing George firsthand, there's not too many tight ends in the league. I think he prefers the run game and the grimy game and all the lead blocking. Like, he's just wired a little different. The rest of us were like, yeah, we'll go block because you're going to throw me 8 for 120. That sounds great, but he lives for it, and he's a unique player in this league.
Second trip into the red zone, looking for the end zone for the first time. Purdy gets away from Peppers. Now he's got Mason open, but still retreating, and has to heave it to Samuel, and incomplete. Well, there are a couple guys that flashed open, but relentless pressure on Purdy kept them from finding anybody.
Yeah, just now it's back-to-back stops here in the red zone, and that sudden change after the fumble. You can't say enough about this Patriots defense. It's a big-time play there by Purdy to keep it alive, but you mentioned that relentless pursuit. He just couldn't find a guy downfield as he retreated, and Jabril Peppers had him dead to rights, and he shook him off.
And Keon White, it's in his face at the end there. Marco Wilson, the coverage on Deebo Samuel. So 2 trips into the red zone and 2 field goals from Jake Moody. And now this.
I have a surprise for you.
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah. Feast your eyes on this.
Oh, that's sexy. Feels so new.
I want to feel this feeling again and again.
Well, can I hold it?
How bad do you want to hold it?
I'm not gonna beg, but pretty please.
Or they don't. Go ahead, press a button.
Oh, it's glowing.
Apple Intelligence. We should do this more often.
Agreed.
Rekindle the feeling of love with the new iPhone 16 Pro on us. And feel it again and again with the latest iPhone every year with AT&T Next Up Anytime.
Take a look here. They're playing man coverage out of this bunch set. Again, he's matched up against Jalen Hawkins. This time, Hawkins doesn't let him get loose. Now, I just want to make sure one thing's clear. When a quarterback goes scramble drill, illegal contact is no longer a thing, so they call it paste. These defenders are now going to just find the nearest receiver, put their eyes on him, and just latch on to him. Anybody deep in the end zone, they want to push out of bounds. But all the illegal contact and all that goes out the window once that quarterback escapes the pocket, and that's textbook.
You touched on it. You said their defense, New England defense, the most important part of this whole game if they're going to have a shot. And what a stand right there to hold them to a field goal with the short field. Saturday, the fight for the National League pennant begins. Catch Ohtani and the Dodgers, Harper and the Phillies, and the league's best as they begin the road towards the World Series. The NLDS, Saturday on Fox and FS1. Everybody playing their final games other than the Mets and the Braves could play tomorrow. Still don't know what the matchups are going to be for the wild card round. But we do know division series to begin less than a week on Fox. A fumble on the first play of the last drive. And so it's Antonio Gibson, and you wonder at what point you just have to go with Gibson, not able to trust Stevenson. First down pass play. Jalen Polk. Stop right away by Diamador Lenore. To bring this first quarter to a close, the 49ers trying to respond from that gut punch defeat last week. 2 drives, 2 field goals. On to the second we go in Santa Clara. On to the second quarter we go here in Santa Clara. And 38-year-old Gerard Mayo, the 7-time captain, is the linebacker of the Patriots. Of course, all those under Bill Belichick. Takes over for Belichick. Guy they used to call Gerard Belichick. He was in his hip pocket so much throughout his career, learning everything he could from him. And they said they've known for a while that he was the man for the job to take over after 24 years of Belichick. Antonio Gibson bubbles to the outside and gets popped by Fred Warner.
And I really enjoyed having the conversation and getting to know Gerard Mayo a little bit. And the thing that stuck out, you know, sometimes it's a fine balance. You have an organization like the Patriots that you've had so much success. You can kind of become a creature of your own environment. He said, when I put my staff together, it was really important to me that I went out and got different voices, that I got people from outside the walls of the Patriots system that could challenge some of our thinking, bring in some fresh ideas. Thought that had pretty good self-awareness from a young coach who's been around a lot of really good teams.
His offense 2 out of 3 on third down so far. Looks like maybe facing pressure. 49ers back out of it. Brissett given time over the middle. He gets picked off by Warner. Fred Warner climbs the ladder to get it. And now he sprints down the sideline. Inside the 10. He won't beat it out. lets it go. It's a 45-yard pick six for Warner, and it's the defense that finds the end zone first.
Yeah, so look where he starts. He starts in the front side A-gap showing mug blitz, and then he's just going to drop. They go too high safety zone, and you can see Brissett, he just doesn't even see him. Just one of those rare, long, athletic middle linebackers. The play before, he can be a physical tackler on the back, and then on the very next play, patrol the middle of the field. That's an area this 49er defense has dominated over the years. Been a little bit down this year, but as long as they have Fred Warner on the field, he can make up for a lot of mistakes. He's one of the best defensive players in all of football.
49ers #1 in the NFL in interceptions the last 2+ years. And they forced Jacoby Brissett into his first one this year. That's the one thing with the Patriots. While they've not really done anything on offense, they've also not had too many negative plays on offense. That's only their second turnover. And it's points the other way.
They're taking an extra long look at this. I want to see, does any part of Fred Warner touch out of bounds before he hits the inside of the pylon? It almost looks to me simultaneous. I think this is a touchdown. Yeah, you can hear the crowd respond. They gave the official the green light to kick the extra point. That's as good a play you're going to see out of a Mike linebacker as it gets.
Started from day one after they drafted him out of BYU in 2018, leading tackler all 6+ years. And here he's the first 49er to find the end zone. Fred Warner and the Niners with a 13-0 lead as they try to get to 2-2.
So this is a combination of a great scheme and also just having an all-pro player. It looks like single high, but now they're going to run these guys out and they're going to make a cover 2 zone shell. But what I want you to see, watch the ability right here, Fred Warner. When he gets contact on Polk #1, Polk's trying to get to this dead spot, but look at him flatten him down the line. That's what alerts, okay, I'm going to throw the dig. Well, that looks great in practice when number 54 is not the middle linebacker, but the ability to flatten off the receiver and still get enough depth to pick the inside dig route. There's just not many guys. That's a Brian Urlacher type play from back in his day. 6'4", long linebacker, athletic. There's just not a lot of middle linebackers that are making that play.
We were talking about earlier how Dre Greenlaw is a huge missing piece of that linebacking group. Really, those two guys together, that's like the old Briggs and Urlacher combo that you were part of at the start of your career.
Man, I used to go against those guys in practice, and I'll never forget my opening training camp. Briggs was holding out.
Comes to Michael Hasty on the return, and Hasty to the 30.
Yeah, Briggs is holding out, and Brian Urlacher's, the all-pro, and he's the man, and I'm this young rookie, and all I hear about is, well, wait till you see Lance Briggs. Wait till you see Lance Briggs. I'm like, I mean, okay, I know he's a good player, but like, you got Brian Urlacher. Yeah. He just played in the Super Bowl 3 months ago, and they're like, well, wait till you see this guy. Well, he got a new contract or whatever happened. He showed up, and it was like, oh, okay, yeah, I can see why they wanted Lance Briggs back. Those two guys together, it's very similar. Fred Warner gets all the accolades, deservingly so, but Drake Greenlaw, he's the juice of this defense. They can't wait to get him back.
Drive begins from the 30. Stevenson comes back in after fumbling on his last carry and has 4-5 on this first drive. For more on the middle of that defense and Fred Warner down to Payne.
Yeah, 49ers defenses, Joe, are always vaunted, but this season the group has not found a typical dominant groove. I talked to Fred Warner, of course, the leader of that defense, about that, and he admits there are some growing pains happening. Warner said there is a different level that the 49ers defense just hasn't found. He spoke about how every year's different, that he has no problem saying we're not playing to the standard we can. And then he does that.
Yeah, right, on 2nd and 6. That's a first down toss to Austin Hooper, the veteran tight end, getting by Devondre Campbell. Of course, it is a new coordinator. That Steve Wilks just one season. He's let go after they go to the Super Bowl, and the defense was top 5. Sorensen takes over after a decade as an assistant. Seattle here in San Francisco, his first chance as a DC.
And I'll tell you, around this building, they are high on him. They thought highly of him last year. Steve Wilkes was the coordinator, third best defense in all of football. So it speaks volumes about the confidence that they have in Nick Sorensen to let one of the better play callers on the defensive side walk, to let him now take control.
Play action on first down, and Brissett is going to get sacked. Fought all he could to get away, but ultimately dropped. Kevin Givens there. Bosa was in pursuit as well. And an injured 49er. That's Jordan Elliott, is slow to get to his feet.
It's one of the few times you'll see San Francisco go to 5 down linemen. It was a play action, max protect. This ball just has to come out. There's nowhere to go with it. Protection breaks down. You either got to get that check down or you got to throw it at somebody's feet.
Yeah, Greg, here's another defensive lineman leaving the field. Jordan Elliott starting because Javon Hargrave is lost for the year with that triceps injury. Even this week, right after he gets plugged in as the starter at practice, he steps on somebody's foot, gets carted off of the field. You don't know if this has to do with that, but gosh, heads are falling off for the 49ers up there.
Yeah, they got to be looking at some point and say, when is enough enough? I mean, whether in major injuries on both sides of the ball, but listen, Kyle Shanahan told us, he says, nobody cares. This is the NFL. No one's giving you any sympathy if some of your better players are on the sideline. Everybody's dealing with it to some capacity, and you just got to keep rolling the next guy in.
2nd and 14, big drive here for the Patriots. Down 2 scores already. There's Kayshon Boutte, just his 2nd catch of the year. Warner tracks him down. He got 11 yards, and they make it 3rd and manageable.
Yeah, so again, here we are in another 3rd and 3. Not quite over midfield like we saw in the opening possession when New England had the ball and they went shotgun empty through it, and then on 4th down they punted. I just think you have to tell Alex Van Pelt, the offensive coordinator, if you're Gerard Mayo, you got 2 downs, man. You got to pick this up. We got to maintain possession of the ball.
3rd and 3, they'll throw again. Brissett over the middle has a 1st down to Hunter Henry. Getting both tight ends involved on this drive. First Hooper, now Henry.
Yeah, nice job. They're using the motion here. It undresses. This is just wide choice. Great job by Henry going outside of the bunch. Makes the defender work over the top, Jair Brown, and that's what opens up the leverage.
Brissett 6 out of 9 so far. They've converted the 3rd down here. So the 49ers 43. Stevenson has a seam, and Ramondre Stevenson has 9. They averaged more than 100 yards. I beg your pardon, that's JaMycal Hasty getting his first carry. JaMycal Hasty only had 2 carries over the first 3 games, and a reflection of how they're understandably probably feeling here about Stevenson with his fumbling issues. Hasty again. Stop short, Leonard Floyd.
And they're going to go hurry up here. They're trying to catch the 49ers subbing.
And a sneak. Didn't need a whole lot. Didn't get a whole lot. Let's see.
If they go at the bottom of the screen, officials mark, I think he's short. If he goes with the top, there's just a late flag in the secondary on the top. And
12 players on the defense during the play.
That's what I thought.
5-yard penalty.
Looked like a lot of red down there.
Well, so what happened was when the New England Patriots saw the 49ers trying to get into their 4th down, right? So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There must have been a 12 on the backside. Oh, there's 12. There we go. First work.
They go that high?
I think it goes to 1,000,000. I've never tested it, but I know at least it goes to 12.
Okay. So it's 1st down either way. And the Patriots trying to cut into this 2-score deficit. Jacoby Brissett, first chance as a starter in 2 years. He said he cried more than once week 1 when he was reflecting on his journey to get back to this point. And he knows that, this is a unique gig. Part of the gig is to mentor the young guy who's going to eventually take over in Drake May. But just so thankful to have another chance when that was never guaranteed that he would.
It should have been a dead ball foul. We shut it down. So I'm going to need to reset the game clock. It's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
A little housekeeping there from Scott Novak. Of course, the guy in Brissett who started his career in New England, but then journeyman all over the place. Hadn't started since 2 years ago when he was in Cleveland. Last year in Washington as the backup. Comes back here, and we set it off at the top with the right guy for a tough job.
Yeah, and I think Gerard Mayo just has so much trust. When he took over for Belichick, he understood the roster has some work. We got to continue to draft well, add young development pieces. We need to be a veteran presence at that starting quarterback spot, and that's what he is.
First down throw to the outside for Jalen Polk, and it's knocked away by Diamador Lenore. Brissett, he was the third stringer when he started his career in New England behind Brady and Garoppolo, and had a chance to start a couple games then, but then he goes to Indy, spent 4 seasons with the Colts, to Miami for a year, to Cleveland for a year. That was in 2022, and his last chance to really be the guy before last year in Washington, and full circle back to the Patriots. 2nd and 10. Hasty still in there, running back. Back of that throws for Brissett. On the move, trying to get away from Gibbons. And he will just barely get back to the line of scrimmage. Kevin Gibbons has made a couple plays, getting an extra chance here with the injuries up front.
Yeah, and it's actually a really good job by Brissett keeping this play alive. He got flushed to his right, and unfortunately for him, when he flushes, take a look. You're going to see the receivers are all kind of coming back the opposite direction. Look, he's got to anticipate this dig here. But now once he flushes, Henry goes deep, nowhere really to go. He just couldn't quite find Demario Douglas working back his way. By that point, Gibbons was able to swallow him up, take him down for the sack.
They make it 3rd and 11. 4-man rush. Brissett steps up and delivers to Jalen Polk. It'll depend on where they spot him, but it's going to be very close as the rookie out of Washington has the catch. Took her to spot him about a yard short, and so 4th down.
Yeah, this is where just inexperience, I don't think you can blink. Field goals are not going to cut it. This is a no-brainer 4th down try, but Jalen Polk, he actually ran a really nice route. He just needs to get deeper.
4th down and 1. Brissett under center with a hard count.
And